Oh God, it takes ages. Listen, no. Oh, where is it now? Okay. Let's see. Can you... no. God, what is
it says that you're live now online.
Just me.
Already? We're not together?
I don't know if I can see you. Let me see. Let's see. No. God, what is
it says that you're live now online.
Just me.
Already?
Oh no, now it's you as well.
Okay. It says live on Facebook. I think we're in. It says that you're live now.
Oh God.
Already?
Let me know here. How can we? Okay, I can see both in Zoom, but not online. There.
Well, it says you're online. Let me check.
Let's go on the pages of light.
Yeah, I can see you. But I can see you. Oh, I see me too.
Okay, I think we are both. Click to respond.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see you. So we're done.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, I see me too.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's start then.
Technology challenges, huh?
Okay. Okay. Let's start then. I think we need to Okay. So can you see? I think we are live.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Let's see us here. You can see there. I can't see. Okay. So I want to make sure that everything is in place. Okay. So, hello, Toni. I cannot really see any comment yet. Oh, yeah, Mariella and Jenny. Oh, good evening. Yeah, hi. Hello, everyone. I'm so sorry. we were not lucky at all today with the technology. Anyway, so we made it. Okay, so first of all, thank you everyone for being here. I'm going to introduce shortly myself. My name is Veronica. I'm part of the Bridges of Light International team. I usually work behind the scene, but today I decided to show up just because of this beautiful lady. So thank you everyone, and thank you, Toni. This is a beautiful and amazing lady from Dubai. And I'm so excited and happy to be here and interview her. And I can't wait to hear from her as well. So before we start to talk about the topic of today, that is about masculine and feminine energy, just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, anything you want to share with us about your background, and then from there, of course, we can start to talk about the topic of today.
Okay, well, I wrote a book, I would say, around 10 years ago, maybe 8-9 years ago. And then it's so interesting because you write a book and you know exactly what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to behave. but to actually control your behavior it becomes a challenge. And then you realize that there are triggers. It's our beliefs, the stories we tell ourselves about an event can be so different that how I would react could be completely different to another person, how they would react. So I thought I needed to get to the bottom of why we behave this way. And even when we become aware of it, it's not always easy to get rid of it. So then I got into the energetics and I realized that it's very easy actually to remove beliefs, behaviors very fast from that level. So if before we would get triggered and angry about something, now you can easily remove it and get rid of it. So then I got into energetics after that, and I started working in energetics. And I believe that feminine and masculine is very important, and we don't understand it very well. We don't understand ourselves as women. We don't understand our masculine parts. We don't know how to work with them both. So then I got obsessed with this and started researching it.
Okay, so so basically, it was from your personal experience that you, like I think everyone, you decided to go a little bit deeper into, let's say, the topic of masculine and feminine energy, but in general, that like the energy, because I know that you do theta healing, you do Reiki, you do body and the breath work. You were telling me as well. There's actually a really interesting thing how you can work with your breath and, you know, rebalance the energy. I mean, for me, as yoga teacher, of course, is like one of the fundamental things. But tell us a little bit more about this masculine and feminine energy, because I believe that maybe our followers, people in general, they can get confused a little bit, and they maybe think that they are related to our gender, but it's actually not, because the masculine and feminine energy is like both sides. So tell us a little bit like about the difference, and maybe how we can maybe recognize, I don't know, any disbalance, or how we can somehow rebalance as human being, of course, but maybe in a relationship as well, with women, with men, or in a couple. So,
yeah. Okay, so let's look at feminine and masculine generally. We both have feminine and masculine energy. So the energy itself is the behavior. But why it's more, for example, in a man, a certain behavior than a woman is the need. And the needs come from the cave times. So, for example, a man he needed to know his business. He needed to know what he's doing. He needed to be confident. And he would go out of the cave. He needed to be strong, fearless. He needed to go and hunt the animal, bring it home. So he needed to focus. So focus was his priority. He needed to use his logic. He couldn't be very emotional when he wanted to hunt the deer, obviously, because he wouldn't bring the food home. And then he needed to focus on one thing. While as with the woman, her needs were different. She needed a lot of love to give to her kid, to her husband, to look after the house as well. So she needed to multitask, for example. And she values feelings above logic because that's how she had to operate, or how she had to manage the household, for example. So even though a man has feelings, he, generally speaking, a masculine man usually values logic over emotions. And a feminine woman would value, for example, her love, emotions over logic, for example.
Yeah.
So this is why we are the way we are. Now, if we're in our balanced state, a woman would be from a state of love, she would be receptive, she would be in the flow. And if a man is behaving from a balanced place, he's very logical, he's very strategic, he knows what he wants, he plans to get to it. So it depends on where we're acting from. So if we're acting from a place of love, we're in our divine feminine and divine masculine. When we're acting from a place of fear, we're in our wounded masculine and wounded feminine. And what happens is a man can have wounded feminine. So if you feel as a man you're a victim, you're in your wounded feminine, because women have been victimized throughout centuries. And this is in the consciousness of the woman, you know, overall consciousness. And then as a man as well, where was I? I lost myself. Okay, so yes. So if you're a man and you're wounded, because you need to know and you believe you're right, you're over aggressive about being right. So you might bully people, you might, because you want to prove that you're right. So it's a bit out of balance because it doesn't come from a place of confidence, for example, when you have to bully someone or you have to dominate someone. And also a woman or a feminine energy, when she becomes over emotional, is because she's not tapping into her feminine energy and she's not being still with herself and she's not going inside her emotions to use her emotions in her advantage to get her to what she wants in life. And if the man is acting over emotional, is actually a wounded feminine that he has, or if she's codependent, for example. So you can be a man and you can be codependent, so it's a feminine energy. You can be a man and you believe you're a victim, and you can be a woman and you can be a bully, which would mean your wounded masculine is very strong. So
I think it's like it happens to everyone, like to have a moment where, you know, this energy is not correctly balanced, or even like I believe that it can happen in a couple as well. It can happen that, I don't know, for example, the woman has like a stronger masculine energy and the man has like a stronger feminine energy. Exactly. In this case, they can match each other anyway, or it's gonna be a problem. It's like the roles in the couple are like kind of upside down, or can it work anyway?
Well, the thing is, we're attracted to two things. So first of all, we're attracted to people we are similar to, but too much similarity can create conflicts. So two bullies can never be together. So if we're in our wounded feminine and we're all victim, and, you know, a bully can actually come and date us because we will accept it, because we feel we're the victim. And now, whether the bully is the man or the woman, it doesn't matter, but it's the opposite roles, for example. So it's the polarity that attracts us and keeps us together. Because if it's two bullies at the very beginning, they will kill each other and they will separate. And if it's two victims, it's not another person to blame. You know, everybody's like in the victimhood. Although, like, as a woman and a man, we can go into both of these. So we can become the bully and we can become the victim, like as a person. So in one relationship, the person can bring out the bully in me, and another relationship, the person can bring out the victim in me. It depends on what's stronger in him and how I can change. But when we attract the wounded masculine, we have the wounded masculine within us, and that's why we're attracting it. So the more balanced we become, the less we will attract people who are in their wounds. And
of course. No, carry on.
So yes, so well, everybody has an aspect of themselves that is wounded. You're not ever fully perfect. There's no perfect person, because
those kind, for example, of course, we meet someone and we feel you, especially you, because I believe you use different techniques with your client. But if you understand that, for example, I don't know, you have a man come to you, a client, you feel that this person has like a really strong feminine energy. Usually when you try to understand what's going on with the person, what do you do exactly? And there is anything that happens, for example, there is any roots in their childhood, or maybe, I don't know, something that happened in the past that they can bring this person to have a stronger feminine energy compared to the masculine one, or is something that can happen like in adult life? Because I believe that usually with like the old patterns or like negative beliefs, they're always like rooted in like in the first year of, you know, our life. So does it work in this way as well in terms of masculine and feminine energy?
Of course, yes. I mean, when you have usually a father, for example, a father figure, which is very domineering, the boy can become very much in his feminine energy because he becomes the victim. So if the father is too much of a strong energy and acts like that with the son, he can create that, for example. And yes, a lot of our childhood defines how we behave at older age, but as older, when we get older as well, some limiting beliefs are caused then. Like, it's not everything from your childhood. The first trigger is childhood, but we collect and we make it worse and worse with experiences, and our trust can get less and less with experience. So yeah. And in terms of feminine and masculine, you can check a lot from the breathing, for example, like the upper part of the body, like the chest is about feminine energy, is about receiving. So if you breathe into your chest, you're very good at receiving. You're good at going with the flow of what comes to your way. If you're breathing more in your stomach, it means that you're more in touch with your masculine energy. If you breathe a lot, it's like more adventure. And when parts of us get wounded, our breathing gets trapped in these areas. So we can actually take it out of the body. Now, what happens in breath and body work is that when you are, before you're even born till you're 7, our membrane is not fully working. So lots of people don't even have memories before 6 or 7. Or they have very few memories. And these memories your body is forever taking the memories, and these memories get trapped in the body. So we can actually take it out of the body, and we can see if it's the masculine that is affected, or the feminine, from like the pain, because you press pressure points and they will feel pain and they breathe into it. And with that, their patterns of behavior changes as well. With theta healing, you change, for example, the limiting beliefs. So basically, as a child, the same event can happen to me and you, but how I will create the story will be completely different to how you will say the story. So my mother can ignore me, and I can say, oh, she loves me, and she's ignoring me because she's tired. And you can say, no, I'm not lovable, and that's why she's ignoring me. Like, the same event can have complete different meanings to the same people.
Yeah, of course.
And with theta healing, we go change that, and we will change the behavior so they become more balanced in their feminine and masculine, basically.
Okay, so usually you do you usually use a combination of techniques then? So it can be like a body and breath work, and then
Well, my passion really is the feminine and masculine, so to find the trends and to do theta healing, because I believe when you remove the limitation or the limiting belief, behaviors change immediately. And sometimes you remove a limiting belief from some person, and it changes in them so much that they don't even recognize that they had that. So I sometimes even write down on a piece of paper, and I'll be like, check it in a month and see how you've shifted. And then they see how much they've shifted. So it's crazy. Like, from one moment to a moment, you're like, do I even believe that? I don't feel it now. Maybe I'll feel it later. And they never feel it again, which is amazing. But with the body and breath, I love it, because if a person is unable to talk about their issue, in that case, we can use body and breath, because the memory doesn't have to really serve them, or if they have a resistance, the body, you can do anything. So
the body will talk anyway. How does it say? How can we say that? Usually the body keeps anyway a record of everything happens, even if it's just like on the subconscious level. So on the conscious level, where maybe it doesn't want to express. Okay, yes. So it's really personal then. So if someone it comes to you and it's easy to express how it feels, maybe of course you can use the theta healing instead. If it's not easy to tell you exactly how they feel, so you can work on the breath first, and then changing the breath as well, then you can probably shift something inside of the client in this case. And do you use any other technique, or I don't know, maybe I think you are like life coach as well, so do you use any other techniques when
I
what do you
learned
want?
NLP, like I've become a life coach and an NLP coach, and I did all those modalities. I think I'm more drawn towards theta healing because it's much faster and you get to the bottom much. I like fast. I'm impatient.
Well,
So
I never tried, but I guess it must be amazing. So, okay, so you can have really, really quick shift with theta healing. Okay,
yes.
that's amazing. And yeah, so and what kind of client usually come to you? There is like a particular maybe I don't know kind of client that you can recognize that they feel or which kind of issues they have, and because of them they come to you and ask, of course, for your help.
Well,
Does it
for
like
example,
any? Yeah.
if you're in your masculine energy, you will have a lot of anxiety because you're all about work, 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 do. And you will not be in your calmness and your energy of calmness. So I get a lot of clients with anxiety, with stress, with depression as well, because you're not in your feminine energy and you're not getting in touch with who you are. So people who have these kind of things usually come to me to resolve it. It's weird because I had this limiting belief myself that men don't like healing, but for some odd reason, I attract a lot of men to do healing. So I think God has proven to me that I'm wrong. But yeah, so yes, theta healing resolves a lot of that. And also, as a woman, if we're too much in our feminine energy, then we become over emotional and we don't understand our emotions, and we need to then go into the emotion. We can't make decisions. We're not decisive because we're lacking in masculine energy. So then you have to go in and resolve all that as well. So it depends on what issue you have, but I think it's all to do with people with limiting beliefs and issues, emotional issues, anything we can work on this.
So, for example, if we have a woman that is really like shows like a really strong personality, she want to do everything, she want to be like independent, she doesn't want to show that she's needy, so she's in her masculine energy. And in this case, if someone is like that, it can happen that maybe she can attract a man because the man with a masculine energy can perceive her maybe too, I don't know, too strong, or maybe, I don't know, too challenging for him. She doesn't give her space to be a man.
Yes,
Yeah,
because
okay.
men in relationships, they love women that need them, but they don't like neediness. And the difference between need and neediness, so a lot of women are confused about men, about this issue in particular, because how can a man want a woman that needs them but doesn't like a needy woman? Needing is to express it in a vulnerable way. It's to express your need how it is. So I feel this, can we have this? It's not demanding, it's requesting. And the woman who's okay with her needs is okay with no as well. The guy says no, she accepts it. And she will ask again if she needs. But a needy woman is more of a demanding woman, is a woman that doesn't believe her needs will be met or her needs will be fulfilled. So it's more a question of showing and expressing your need in a way that the man is receptive to it and he feels like, wow, I'm her man, not by God, I'm her slave, you know.
So, yeah,
So
I
that's
mean,
a big difference.
yeah, in that case, I guess that if it's a woman, in this case can be a man as well, is too needy, is of course is in a feminine energy, but also she lack of self-confidence. So there is any
Of
other
course.
behind before, of course, it's just the feminine energy. Let's have a look. I think we have maybe a comment or something. Mariella says, really, I think there are subjective characters much developed in women, less in men. The reason why we are more emotional, spiritual, romantic, more able to feel and accept the pain when we give birth. Oh yeah, she's basically confirming that, of course, as women, we tend to be a little bit more into the feminine energy. Yeah, it can happen, of course, the opposite. And so what else do you said you do quantum reiki as well when we were talking. Do you use this technique as well in terms of like balancing the masculine feminine energy, or you prefer to use especially the theta healing, and as you were saying
For
before?
masculine and feminine, I use theta healing and breath work because the quantum energy is the belief that there are a lot of parallel realities, and simultaneously we're living all of these parallel realities. And with every choice, we actually go into a different dimension that we can do. Therefore, we have the choice and we can affect our life. So what you do in quantum energy is to go to the single point within you, which all these different parallel realities are in there. And from that one, choose the one that is more towards what you want and is more balanced. And from that area to help and heal people. So that is more, if I know the specific problem, I prefer to work with theta healing or breath work. And the reason being is because I know exactly what I worked on. Maybe it's my way of knowing what I worked on, and I want to see, I get excited about results. But when it's quantum, I know something is shifted. They feel better, but they can't tell me exactly what. So I think it's for me like more of the what feedback do I get from it.
And when you do the theta healing session, of course, the treatment or the technique, do they have to do like more than one? Do they have to come back more than once, or do you give them like kind of homework that they can like start to observe I don't know, their behavior or anything else that they can do before the next session? How does it work? Or sometimes they need just one and they're fine?
Well, it depends from client to client. So there are clients that have very deep issues. So like, for example, codependency can be very, very deep and very sticky. While as I had, for example, different clients, which in one session, they had amazing shifts. But it's not because, you know, the method works really well with them. There's a few factors in any form of healing, especially healing like theta healing or coaching, that you need the other person to be also able to respond to you and to go deep into it and to be open to it. And also it's a level of, you know, we have layers and layers and layers of problems. So for example, you can have, like there was this guy I worked on, and he had the fear of losing his boyfriend. And I worked on him one session only. And the next time his boyfriend saw me, he's like, what did you do to him? He completely changed. He didn't change. He knew that he's not going to lose his boyfriend, but he had this unconscious fear. So it just removed fast.
So yeah, so it's, I believe it's really personal, but yeah. Okay, let's see. I think there is another comment. It's a general consideration. There are men who are so inclined to have a family, some children, get care of them, and women who don't feel the need to have children. I think in every woman there are some men's characteristics, and in every man some women's. Yeah, she's confirming.
Fully correct.
Of course, we can have like both sides. So let's see if there are any more questions. No, not yet. Okay, so anything else you wanna add to the topic of masculine feminine energy? Something maybe, I don't know, if we want to go a little bit more, you know, deeper, something that, I don't know, can be maybe our followers can, or let's see if someone else. Oh, Gaetano is, hello Gaetano. Gaetano is here. Hello. So yeah, so anything else you wanna add to maybe to give some advices to our followers as well? Maybe they can start to think about, oh my God, yeah, my feminine energy is actually stronger than my masculine. I was having this conversation with my brother, say, what do you mean I am a man? And I was explaining him, no, it doesn't mean that because you are a man you don't have a feminine side or feminine energy. Everyone has. So sometimes people get confused because they think there is something related to the gender, but it's actually, as we were explaining now, it's actually not always. So So any I don't know, any tips?
Okay, well, one of the most beautiful energies to take on, and maybe I'm a feminine, but I feel that the world has been so much in the wounded masculine energy, and there's a lot of wounded feminine because of all this masculine energy and everything. And people are now like, no masculine energy anymore. We want feminine energy, divine feminine, but divine masculine is also a beautiful energy. So I want us to know that the masculine, the divine masculine wasn't the one that was abusing the feminine. It was actually the wounded masculine that was abusing the feminine.
The real masculine.
Exactly.
Nowadays, I don't really know.
Yeah. If we can use our feminine energy, we will be able to be much more balanced in the world. For example, and we need the divine masculine as well, but vulnerability is a feminine energy and is the most beautiful energy. And so little of us use it. And so many of us are attracted to people who have that vulnerability, who can be honest, who can be fully themselves. But a lot of people have fears around being vulnerable. I say that's one of the biggest qualities that we can have and incorporate. And as women as well, we need to go into our feelings. If we feel anger, the anger is not there to torture us, to abuse us. The anger is telling us something. It's telling us that we're doing something wrong. And we need to go into that emotion and see where we feel that we're out of power. So we need to resort to that anger. So we need to start looking into our own emotions and understanding our own emotions. So from the feminine aspect, that's the beautiful thing that a lot of people are missing out on. And that's a lot of psychologists are using to work with your emotions, basically. I mean, the masculine energy of having a focus and knowing where to go is amazing. But without the feminine energy of going inside yourself and knowing exactly what it is that you want from this life, what is my gift? What do I want to do? No success is going to make you happy. You have all these celebrities like Marilyn Monroe and people like that, and they have everything we desire, and in the end they're all depressed. And like Marilyn Monroe was fully in her wounded energy, and it was because she didn't understand herself. So I would say if all men and all women can understand their emotions and talk to them and look at their emotions as guides, not to run away with them, feel them, go into them, I think we'll have much more of divine masculine and feminine in the world.
I think it's also because, you know, we live in a society where, you know, men always say, I don't have to show my emotion, I cannot cry. And I think this is a big misunderstanding, because they think, okay, I don't have to show, but it's like they say, I don't have to show and I don't have to feel. While it's actually, it would be probably easier if they learn to feel the feeling. And I'm not saying that they have to cry, but to be more expressive. And I think, you know, this like feminine energy would be probably more balanced in men as well. And the opposite as well. We have women that they are over emotional, as you said as well, and they can scare a little bit the men in general. So I think that this is a great topic, especially for like a relationship. You know, nowadays there are no working like we used to. Okay, so let's see if we have any other question. Oh, Mariella is saying that she's an expert because she has 2 daughters and 2 sons. So yeah, she knows what we are talking about. Okay, so let's see. We still have 10 minutes. Let's see if there is any other question. No yet. Okay, so and do you usually have do you have your clients, so do you have your private studios, or do you work for like
yes, actually I work for the Illuminations in Dubai. There's a center in Dubai called Illuminations, and I work mainly from there.
Okay. So. Can you talk a little bit about the illumination? I don't know if you can, I guess.
I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe Illuminations is one of the oldest healing centers in Dubai. So you have a lot of yoga centers and you have a lot of, but I think primarily for healing and learning different healing modalities, Illuminations was one of the first ones that in Dubai they started, and they're still very strong in it. And they're very good at showing the world about healing and getting the world out there, because I think a lot of people are these days not so open to healing as they are to psychology. While as in psychology, you're just discussing the issue and you have to go years and years and years. While as with healing, you get to the bottom of the problem much, much faster and much more. So.
Okay, and do you do like distance treatment, or do you do like, I don't know, just face to face? Do you have like maybe clients in other countries? How do you treat best clients?
Well, actually, it's interesting because of the Corona thing. Beforehand, I was really bad with this technology, but because of Corona, we had a lot of clients, lots of clients online. I mean, obviously with breath and body work, I mean, I can work with breath and I know breath is like really strong, but I would prefer to do it with body, and I wouldn't take on clients unless I know that I can take it full, do the full thing for breath and body work. However, for theta healing is energy and it's a lot of talking. So it's very easy to do it online. Yeah, I do a lot of clients online.
Okay, yeah, so that's, I mean, of course, as we saw before, we had some trouble with technologies, but I think, yeah, for the last 3 months, it's been probably a saver for everyone in terms of, you know, work-wise and in this case as well. Okay, so let's have a look as well. If there is any other comment? No. Okay, so we still have a few minutes.
Maybe in a few minutes you can tell us about your yoga and the fire elements and the water elements, because this is exciting.
This is your interview, not mine.
I know, but I want to know. And I'm sure people would be excited to know, because different elements are different, you know, fire is a masculine, water is feminine.
Yeah, but it's your interview.
Okay.
For sure. No, of course. I mean, in yoga we have as well this masculine, feminine energy we call the Shiva and the Shakti. But the description is like in the yoga philosophy is exactly the same description that you gave us. So it's like they are two different sides of the same coin, but they have to be balanced. Otherwise, we have the issues that you just described. So it's, of course, it's like another source, but at the end of the day, it's exactly the same thing. Yeah, I mean, if we work in terms of elements, of course, we have water and earth. They are like strong feminine energy, and fire and air, they are actually really, really strong masculine energy. So yeah, in terms of healing, yeah, we can work with these elements as well. But this is another big topic.
Yeah, because like it's funny that Earth is masculine because we have the Earth as the feminine energy.
No. Earth is feminine energy.
Yeah.
Fire is air. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Water because it's connected to the feeling, and earth is connected to the ability to be grounded and feel safe. So it's like, you know, the house of the family, and the air is the thinker, and the fire is the energy that, you know, everything can destroy and transform, but at the same time brings basically is the active energy, is the movement. So I think there is a lot of connection about this, all of these. This is a big word.
Yes.
Definitely, and like, of course, you were saying as well about the breath, how the feminine energy is when you have a strong feminine energy, you breathe on your chest. That if we think about is like connected to the heart center. So our heart chakra, there is like the, let's say, where the emotion, or where, you know, when basically the emotion, the feelings are felt. they say.
Exactly.
But in the same time, if we think about the second chakra as well, of course, we have there as well about gut feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's just a different way how
and also the different sides as well, the right for the masculine and the left for the feminine, obviously from brain down, because in the brain is the opposite. But yeah.
Let's see. No more comments. Well, we have just a few minutes. Anything else you want to add? I think you might receive comments if people, of course, will watch the live later, because it's gonna stay on Facebook. So they might watch later. You might receive the comments. So just check on them as well. But if there is anything else, of course, that you wanna add, and we are really, really happy to have you here today. Of course,
Thank you.
I was really excited and a little bit nervous because I was going to interview you for the first time, and I'm not the kind of person that show up in front of a camera easily. So,
but I think fear was public speaking to an extent that I couldn't speak in front of even 3 people. So you're a very good interviewer, because I didn't get. I just felt like I'm just talking to you.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
No, thanks for you. And of course, I think that, our followers and other speakers of Bridges of Light are happy as well too. I think of course, these masculine, feminine energies nowadays are, I wouldn't say a common topic, and it's good that someone talks about, because people get confused because they think that is related, as we said before, to the gender, but it's actually not. But some people still get confused. So I think it's good to talk about. We will be happy, of course, to have you here again. I don't know if it will be me again to interview you, but there is anything else that you would like maybe to share with us in future? Of course, so we can always see the comment if something if something comes, or if someone comes to us and asks, I want you to speak about. But there is anything else apart, of course, the masculine, feminine energy that you are like passionate about?
Well, it's also the elements that I'm very passionate about, and I love the water because it's very flexible. And you know how Bruce Lee was saying, be like water, like whatever you put it in, it becomes that. And it's interesting because the water is so strong that it can even destroy a mountain or a stone even. So the water, because of its flexibility, it can move around and it can change, and it's open and it's receptive, and it's such a beautiful element. And when we go to business, sometimes we believe so much that we know, and this is the right thing, that we don't, in work, for example, we don't try to improve. We don't try to look at different possibilities. When we're in managerial positions, we don't look at other people, for example, and how their perspective could have some element in it that could help us go somewhere. So it's better to be more flexible and more fluid and more receptive, to get much more ideas and become much more creative as well. So just because I like this element, I love fire as well, but yeah. I thought I should mention that.
And just last question before we close. You mentioned at the beginning that you wrote a book, and this book was about, again, the feminine, masculine energy, or was related about something else?
Yeah, at the beginning I wrote a book about relationships, and it was so much about this is how we should behave, and now when you go into the market, there's so many books of, oh, don't do this and do this and do that. And I believe you need to be yourself. You need to understand yourself. You need to listen to your feelings. And once you come from a place of confidence and you're integrated with yourself, the right person will always be for you. So if I were to write a book, again, I would write it about how we need to get in touch with ourselves and try to be true to ourselves. Because I remember seeing a poster about this guy who's wearing a mask and he's going past and he misses his soulmate, because when we're wearing a mask, the person who's right for us will not see us, and the person who's not right for us, even if they like us, they will eventually find out that we're not the person we're pretending to be. So I feel that you should throw all the books that tell you who you should be and find the books who let you incorporate the archetypes and the reality of who you are. So learn more about the archetypes. What archetypes resonate with you? Take on your power, take on your, even look into, I mean, shadow work is a complete different element. We can't go into it.
Yeah.
Break that and take his power.
Yeah, maybe you should write a new book then.
Yeah, I think I should. But
so,
at the moment I'm working on the workshops, so for the relationships. So
that would be great. Well, let's see. Between women and men, there is equal opportunity in team of work position occupied in the masculine mental approach to today's past. There are women arrived to the highest level of society. Yeah, she was saying about what you just said about the managerial position, but she's saying that women as well arrived to the highest level of society. Yeah, of course, probably in this case, because we are like in strong masculine energy. If we think about society, probably these women used a little bit more the masculine energy to climb.
Yes, yes, it's true, because in the workplace now, women feel the need to be more masculine in order to reach the top, while as a lot of feminine energy, like the intuition, is such an important thing that we're not using in the workplace, and is more profound and more useful actually than logic, because when you're using your logic, you're taking 3,000 data of information. When you're using your intuition, you're taking 3 million data of intuition. That's your subconscious. That's all the information you've collected. So if you trust it, you will make better decisions.
Yeah, I believe that in some places you are not allowed to do that. That's the problem.
Unfortunately, but we need to.
Why are you talking about your intuition? Yeah. Okay. So, well, thank you. And
thank you very much.
It's a big pleasure to talk to you, see you again.
Thank you for inviting me, and thanks for Bridges of Light for making this possible as well. Yeah, it was lovely doing this with you, Veronica. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome to, of course, come back, we hope. And someone else totally agree about the intuition and female energy. Yes, someone is, of course, is like confirming about, how important is the intuition, especially, as women, because men, I think they listen a little bit less, or maybe they do, but probably when the feminine energy is a little bit
a little
higher.
Bit. Yeah. Actually, they've done research, and the more balanced your feminine and masculine is, the more successful you become in workplace.
Yeah, I think this should be the aim in general, have this balance. But if we don't have the knowledge about now, thank you to you. Maybe many other people will. Thank you, Mariella said. Thank you to both. Thanks, Mariella. And yeah, so I hope to see you again. Of course, we are happy to have you here again. It was a huge pleasure for me to show up and interview you. And yes, so we can just leave space. Probably there will be other speakers on the Italian Bridges of Light. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.
All the words and everything. And yeah, have a good rest of the evening. The beautiful Dubai. Can't wait to come there.
Thank you. Hopefully you'll join us. Take care. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.